can't trust myself because I think it's divine vision. I think I'm seeing what I'm supposed to do, but can you tell that it's not the ego just trying to get its way? Well, here's how you can tell. Are you at peace or are you anxious? If it's the ego, there's going to be a little bit of anxiety in the middle of it. Are you at peace? Do you feel connected? This is how we know that we're actually hearing the voice of Spirit, is that we have a sense of well-being. And so if that's not present, then that just means we need to stay quiet for a little bit longer and wait for that. So we have this divine vision that tells us how to co-create with God. Now, first of all, every loving thought is a creation. Every loving thought, every thought that you extend where you are feeling connected to another person and desiring only good to come to them without any conditions whatsoever. I know, that doesn't happen all that often. But every one of those, that's a creation of its own, and it goes on forever. It goes on echoing through eternity. It is an immortal creation. But then on the other hand, we're also making things in the world. And the best, the most wonderful invention in the world that we could think of pales in significance to that one loving thought for our purposes. Not to say that making cool stuff is not good. Apple Watch. Apple Watch, it's coming. Be ready. That's a good thing, but it pales in significance to extending love to the person you're with, or to the person you're not with, or to the person you can't be with because there's all kinds of upset. This is a creation that goes on forever. And from that frame of mind then, what happens is we're able to give loving service to those that we're with. Oh, I'm going to tell you about the little boy who was drowning. Not yet, though. Remind me if I forget. So to focus and have this purpose. Think about the purpose of, okay, so my purpose is I want to be helpful. And it says out there above the door, proper service. Proper service. Proper service is do the right thing for the right reason. And if we're listening to guidance, we also do it at exactly the right time. Proper service. Without any concern for what's going to happen to us. See, this is the thing. Proper service is, even if it seems inconvenient to us, even if it seems like, oh man, if I do this, that might have the effect of taking something away from me down the road. So I don't know if I want to start this ball rolling. Proper service, do the right thing for the right reason at the right time. And then this idea of mission, which we did in the meditation, the mission is that the ongoing application of purpose. So I'm on a mission. That means I'm moving. I'm on a mission, and I'm going somewhere to establish my purpose in the life that I'm living. So a mission does not mean, although it does to some people, it doesn't mean you go to a third world country and try to talk those people into believing in the God that you believe in. I mean, for our purposes, that's not what a mission is. Now, it actually could be that as part of your purpose and listening to Spirit, you are guided to actually go to a third world country and be of service. But the whole idea of converting people, this is just put it in a perspective. What Thich Nhat Hanh has done, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, he's traveled throughout the world. He's established. He's got different places around the world where he holds seminars. Is that when people come to him, he tells them right off the bat, you're not here to be converted to be a Buddhist. Now, some people come there are Buddhists already. But a lot of people just come there because they've read his books or they've heard him talk. He said, what you're here for is to take the ideas that we have to teach, put them in your heart, and then take them back to your own community. So he encourages people to take those ideas back to their Christian community, back to their Islamic community, back wherever that they're going. So the idea here is that what I want to do is I want to present ideas. I also want to extend love, not to change someone's mind, to change my mind from fear to love, and then hopefully that influences them to just let go of their fear. Not to think like I think, but to not be afraid. So this is the mission. And then there's this direction about being focused. Now, you go where you look. This is also about spiritual sight. You go where you look. Where you put your eye, that's where you go. And so let thine eye be single, and your whole body be full of light. This is a metaphysical saying. But the principle here is what you focus on, that's what happens. So that means if what I focus on is conflict, if what I focus on is judgment, then this is what I get. If what I focus on is fear and the bad things that are going to happen, that's what I get. Now, not exactly. It's not exact. So I could be worried about like a certain outcome happening, and that doesn't mean just because I stay worried about it that particular outcome is going to happen. It could, but something bad is going to happen because I'm setting the stage for that. And what's going on the inside is going to be projected onto the outside. So where I put my focus, that's what's going to happen. So riding mountain bikes on a trail, I learned this very early on. When there is an obstruction in the trail, you do not look at the obstruction. Because if you do, if there's a rock in the trail and you look at the rock and say, oh my God, I don't want to hit the rock, you're hitting the rock. You're going to run right into the rock. If there's a root, whatever it is, you will run into it. If you're looking at the edge, and there may be a long drop off this side. If you're looking at the edge, you're going off the edge. You put your eye beside the obstruction. You look beside it. So that when you're riding the bike, you look beside it, all of a sudden it's just like automatic. The wheel just goes beside it. You don't hit it. Right? So this is very instructive for life. Don't look at the obstacles. Look at the path around. Look at the path over. Look at the path through, rather than focusing on the obstacle. Where you put your eye, that's where you're going. So we have direction, we have focus of where we want to go. Connection. This is why we get quiet. We get quiet to connect with that spirit within us. We get quiet to connect with the love that we really are. We are energized. Out of that connection, out of that quietness, a power begins to grow in us that will give us everything that we need to go out into the world and do what needs to be done by us. We all have these talents and abilities that are gifts to us, gifts to the world. So the little boy was swimming in a lake. He had gone off by himself. His parents didn't know where he went. He was swimming in a lake. And there was a young man plowing a field right next to the lake. And the little boy gets in trouble out in the lake, and he starts to go under. And the young man who's plowing the field rushes out into the water, swims out, grabs the little boy, and takes him back to shore. The little boy goes back to his parents, and he tells his parents what happened. Comes back and he finds the young man, and he says, listen, my parents, they're so grateful for what you did for me that they want to do something for you. What do you want? And the young man who was plowing the field, he says, oh, it's just too much to ask. He said, no, you don't understand. My parents are well off, whatever it is that you want. And the young man says, I want to be a doctor. The little boy goes back to his parents, and his parents come and meet the young man's parents, and they arrange for the young man to go to school and become a doctor. Time fast forwards. The little boy who almost drowned in the lake grows up, becomes a soldier. His parents are very well off. He goes to when he comes back from the war, World War I, it is. He again enters into government. He becomes a minister in the English government, and gets sick, gets pneumonia. Well, there's a new vaccine that's just been introduced when he gets sick. He's got pneumonia. New vaccine is called the Salk vaccine. And they give it to the now young man, and he lives. And for the second time, Dr. Jonas Salk saves the life of Winston Churchill. We have these gifts within us. And sometimes we think that they can't get out. Sometimes we think that there's circumstances that prevent us from doing the things that we want to do. But what we have to do is get quiet and figure out what it is. What is it within me that's trying to get out? And the other thing that we have to do is when we have the means, is when we see other people and they look like they need help, we can help them so that they can release the gifts that are in them. And this voice that will rise up in us, if we just get quiet enough, this voice that will rise up in us will show us what to do. And that's spiritual sight. That's enough.